What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph? You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Fit for a King. Yes, indeed. How about that? Fit for a King making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Dave Hansen, and Dave wanted to see me react to this song by Fit for a King called The Path. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a minute, hang on, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Solid State Records. Okay, I've dealt with them before. And the video has 503,317 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? You ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Fit for a King, The Path, official music video. Wah, wah, wah.
Damn it.
Oh, there's that word official. Yeah, there it is. And it's coming off the official record labels page on YouTube. So, yeah, we don't know how this could possibly go. Look, you know what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to say it. All I'm going to say is let's just hope for the best, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Okay. I got nothing to say. Other than I'm enjoying this. Yep, I'm definitely enjoying this. No criticisms at all. None. I'm digging everything I'm hearing. The guitars, they got those 7-string guitars, man. You can always hear that low B rattling. Yeah, loving that. Very thick, very crunchy, but not too thick. Not to the point where it becomes muddy. It walks close to that line, though. I'm not going to lie. It is getting close to the line of being muddy, but never hitting that line, never getting to that line, and definitely never crossing that line. So, but it is approaching it. I dig it, though. I think it sounds great. Bass, can't really hear it in the mix too well. I mean, you can hear it, but you really got to dig deep. You really got to dig down before you can find the bass resonance. One of the drawbacks of having those 7 strings and 8-string guitars, that's one of the drawbacks, is it's because it's getting down into the bass register, it's going to bury the bass frequency. So that's the drawback. On the upswing, though, you do get those really rich, thick guitar tones that everybody loves. So I get it. I'm not thrilled about it, but I get it. You know, like I said, every band does it. The drumming sounds fantastic. One of the big selling points for me on the song so far has been the subdivision work, the unison subdivision work, those syncopated runs, like at the end of every phrase, they'll throw in that, triplet, 8/8, type of a feel. And it feels really good, man. I love it because it's all being done very cleanly. Everybody's right together in unison, and I absolutely dig that. There's more I want to say, but I'm going to hold off for now. Let's get back into the song because I am digging this tune.
God knows when the starting will end. Another question, another knife in the road. Sometimes you have to fall to learn where to go. Destroying the fear, ignoring the lies, embracing the pain. The strong survive. Destroying the fear, ignoring the lies. It's time to fight, fight, fight. If you're broken, if you're bleeding, if you're dying for somebody to believe in, don't you turn back, you've got a story to tell. We'll fight the path out of hell. We'll fight the path out of hell. We'll fight the path out of hell.
Little breakdown section. Nice. Way to break it up.
With blood on our hands, the hammer will fall. When demons arise, we will kill them
Great pitch drum on it.
fear, ignoring the lies. It's time to fight, fight, fight. If you're broken.
Loved those 16s. Diddle-it. Yeah, man. Oh, those are tight. Super tight, super crunchy, super thick. All right together. Those syncopated, subdivided lines, man. And it's a lot of people are like, well, those are triplets. No, they're not. They're 16s. It's the first 3 16ths. They rest on the 4th 16th, and then they come back in. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. It's 16ths. It's not triplets. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, there's 3 of them. You're right. There are 3 of them. 3 16ths. They rest on the 4th. I promise you. Okay, that's how it's working. No, that was tight. Loved that. Did not see that coming. Very, very nice surprise. The whole breakdown section, very needed. Very, very needed. To help break up the repetitiveness of the song. So great, smart move. I'm glad they didn't do a bridge. I know I'm usually a big fan of doing bridges, but in a song like this, I think the breakdown idea is far better. I think it's far more suitable to the song. I think if they had gone off on some tangent and, you know, shifted keys and, you know, gone, you know, let's say they went down to the 6, you know, 6, stay on the 6, up to the 8, down to the 7, down to the 6, down to the 3, up to the 4, up to the 5, or something like that. I something like that. I don't know. I don't know what would make a good bridge. I mean, that sounds good in my head. I think it would have worked, but I think it would have been distracting. I think there would have been too much attention put on that. Whereas with the breakdown, it's conducive to the song. It fits. It breaks up the monotony, but it's conducive to the song. It's not a distraction. It's just going to kind of, you know, give everybody a little bit of a break, but not take away from the song in any way, shape, or form. So, there's one more thing I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to save it for the review. Yeah, I'm going to save it for the review. Let's finish this up, and we'll get to the review.
Destroying the fear, ignoring the lies. It's time to fight, fight, fight. If you're broken, if you're bleeding, if you're dying for somebody to believe in, don't you turn back. You've got a story to tell. We'll fight the path out of hell. We'll fight the path out of hell. We'll fight the path out of hell.
Those sudden endings. No resolution. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You know what? It works. It absolutely works. I'm not complaining that it doesn't work. It absolutely works. I just wish they had resolved. Just get back to that root note. Just let it sustain. You know, and let it fade. You know, just hold that last note. Just let it fade naturally. Let everything just kind of taper out. Oh, well. You can't always get what you want, right? Anyway, honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about. There's a couple of things I held off on talking about. But for the most part, I've already covered anything. So this should be a fairly short review. Under 10 minutes. I'm sure it's going to be under 10, no problem. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Fit for a King with The Path. This was a request from Dave Hansen. Okay, I thought about it, but let me be honest with you, folks. I really didn't have to think very long. This score came to me pretty quick. And I spent most of my time going, am I sure about this score? Is this the score I'm really going to go with? And the answer every single time was yes, yes, yes. So there it is. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.4. Yep, 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Fun song. Really fun song. Easy to groove to. Really easy to groove to. Not a whole lot of thought process required. I mean, the whole song was in 4/4. I mean, that's a given right there. That's going to be a pretty easy song to follow along with. Don't have to require a whole lot of brain power to focus on a whole bunch of different time signature changes or key signature changes for that matter. Now, this song was pretty straight ahead, and I got no problem with that at all. The subdivision work, one of the highlights for me. those syncopated subdivisions, man, they sounded good. They sounded so good, so tight. Even with the drop B strings on there, playing the 7-string guitars, even with that in the lower frequency and getting as thick as they were, still clean, still no bleed over or coming in, oh God, heaven forbid, coming in early or late. No, everybody was right together and it sounded tight. I really, really enjoyed those subdivisions at the end of like the phrasings and, just finishing up and rounding it off every single time they would switch up to the next phrase. I really appreciated those. Pinch harmonics. I know a lot of people have trouble with or have problems with pinch harmonics. I don't have a problem with pinch harmonics as long as they're not overly used. And I gotta say, I didn't feel they were overly used. There were parts of the song, like in the breakdown section, where they were used frequently. Like we heard like 3 or 4 pinch harmonics within the period of 4 measures. But at the same time, if you look at the song as a whole, yeah, we had those 3 or 4 pinch harmonics in 4 measures. Yeah, you're right. And they were a little saturated for that section. But if you look at the song as a whole, how often did we hear pinch harmonics? Not too often. Maybe once every section, like at once in a verse, once in the chorus, once in the pre-chorus. You had them sparingly throughout the rest of the song. So that one section where there was, quite a few, I didn't have a problem with it. Now, if it had been like that through the entire song, yeah, I'd be right there with you, folks. I would. I'd be right there going, oh God, that pinch harmonics, overly done. Don't get me wrong. I love pinch harmonics. I do. But there is so much, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. You know what I mean? And there's only so much I can take. So, but I don't think they overused it at all. Maybe in that one section they did just a little bit, but looking at the broad scope of the song, I don't have an issue with it. Vocally, okay. Now, I know I've talked about the instrumentation during the reaction. I talked about the drumming. I talked about the guitar playing. I talked about the bass playing, or I couldn't really hear the bass. But now look, here's the thing about the bass. If I don't hear it, that means one or two things are happening. One, it's being completely drowned out and not in the mix at all. Two, it's so tight that I don't hear anything sticking out, which is a good thing. It's there and it's hidden, but here's the thing, folks. Even if you turn the bass down super low in the mix, right? Let's say guitars are at like a 7 or an 8, vocals are at like an 8 or a 9, drums are at like a 6 or a 7, and bass is all the way down at a 2. You know what I mean? Even then, it's still present in the mix, and if the bass player makes a mistake, it's gonna be heard, okay? I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything bad. I didn't hear anything that stuck out like a sore thumb. So I can only assume that the bass player didn't make any mistakes. So we're gonna go with that. I already talked about the instrumentation at length during the course of the reaction, so I'm not gonna talk about that anymore. The vocals. I know a lot of people are wondering what I thought about the vocals. I liked the vocals. I'm not normally a huge fan of grit and growl exclusively. I like it when one of two things happen. One, there's grit and growl, and then there's clean vocals. And then there's grit and growl, and there's clean vocals. And there is a balance. I personally prefer a little more melodic singing than grit and growl. So like if we get 60% melodic singing, 40% grit and growl, I'm good with that. If we get even more on the clean and even less on the growl, I'm okay with that too. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Or option B, second option, there are melodic undertones within the grit and growl. And that's what we had here. It took me a while. I didn't hear it until the first chorus. During the first verse, I really didn't hear any melodic undertones. But when we got to the first chorus, I heard them. And I'm like, okay, they're there. They're there. And then when we got to the second verse, I still heard them. I had to lock into them. I couldn't lock into them during the first verse because they were kind of hard to find. But after the first verse was done, first chorus, second verse, chorus, the breakdown, final chorus, I had no problem finding them at all. They are there. You have to look a little bit, but they are definitely there. And I really enjoyed them. I really did. And I thought the vocals were just fine. I don't know if I would have preferred some clean vocals. I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking, If we were to put clean vocals in there, where would we put them? On the chorus? No. I mean, it would make, okay, out of the entire song, it would make the most sense, but I don't think it would have fit. I don't think it would have sounded as good. So what they did vocally, I got no issues with whatsoever. I know this is a very, very minute point, but did it affect the score at all? Not, well, okay, maybe it might have affected it like 0.1. I loved that bell, the bell strikes. I really liked them. I thought it was very, very fitting, and they weren't overly used. They were used where they needed to be used, and I just think the fact they even put the bell strikes in there at all was really good, and the fact that they would come back to it because it was impactful. It did bump up the score, like I said, like about 0.1, not that big of a deal, but I dug them. I thought they were good. Look, they were noticeable. I noticed them, so they must have had some impact on me, okay? Not in a negative way either. No, 8.4. I think that's a great score for this song. I feel really good about that score, and that is where we're going to stay. So, 8.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then, by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.